Good evening, it's Facebook Love number 255 on a very warm May evening. I've hurt my back, so sitting still is uncomfortable, but reading poems takes me out of myself, so I'm going to avoid my pain by being pulled into verse. I pulled out a collection of poems put together by Billy Collins called Poetry 180, and it was a collection he pulled together to encourage schools to include poetry in the day-to-day. I want to look at when it was published. It was published in like '03 maybe. That sounds about right, 2003. And it's loosely arranged around what would be resonant at the time of year that the poem would land. So I have a couple that would be coming toward the end of the school year, perhaps considering that the students have become more accustomed to the way poetry works. And part of what I love about this is that it was not designed to explain or teach poetry. I think that we understand poetry without it being explained, though some it makes sense to learn more about the writer, etc. Anyway, so I have a few here. I'm going to do 3 because they're short. The first one is by Susan Mitchell, titled The Dead. At night, the dead come down to the river to drink. They unburden themselves of their fears, their worries for us. They take out the old photographs. They pat the lines in our hands and tell our futures, which are cracked and yellow. Some dead find their way to our houses. They go up to the attics. They read the letters they sent us, insatiable for signs of their love. They tell each other stories. They make so much noise. They wake us, as they did when we were children, and they stayed up drinking all night in the kitchen. The Dead, by Susan Mitchell. This next one is by Terence Winch, titled Social Security. No one is safe. The streets are unsafe. Even in the safety zones, it's not safe. Even safe sex is not safe. Even things you lock up in a safe are not safe. Never deposit anything in a safe deposit box, because it won't be safe there. Nobody is safe at home during baseball games anymore. At night I go around in the dark, locking everything, returning a few minutes later to make sure I locked everything. It's not safe here. It's not safe, and they know it. People get hurt using safety pins. It was not always this way. Long ago, everyone felt safe. Aristotle never felt danger. Herodotus, I said that wrong, felt danger only when Xerxes was around. Young women were afraid of winged dragons, but felt relaxed otherwise. Timotheus, however, was terrified of storms, until he played one on the flute. After that, everyone was more afraid of him than of the violent west wind, which was fine with Timotheus. Euclid, full of music himself, believed only that there was safety in numbers. Social Security, by Terence Winch. This last one, by Ronald Wallace, is called The Student Theme. The adjectives all ganged up on the nouns, insistent, loud, demanding, inexact, their Latinate constructions flashing. The pronouns lost their reference. They were dangling, lacked the stamina to follow the prepositions lead, in, on, into, to, toward, for, or from. They were beset by passive voices and dead metaphors Conjunctions shouting, but, or, and. The active verbs were all routinely modified by adverbs that endlessly and colorlessly ran into trouble with the participles sitting on the margins knitting their brows like gerunds. Dangling was their problem, too. The author was nowhere to be seen. Was off somewhere. The Student Theme by Ronald Wallace. 3 poems for near the end of the school year, because it's been a school year. Really. This is Facebook Love, and I'll see you again.